we're standing in the most magnificent shed that I've ever seen, just outside Esperance. The colours are amazing. And we're here with Cindy Poole Glass Artist. Can you tell us a little bit, before we get into all the art in here, tell us a bit about how you got started?
Well, this shed that we're in, we actually lived in it, my husband and I, for 3.5 years. We made some mud bricks, built a house. I decided I wanted to do some lead light windows, and so I learnt how to do lead light, and then life just continued, and I just fell in love with glass as a medium, and I guess 28 years later, this is sort of what it evolved into.
So when you started, did you envisage it would grow into what we see today?
Absolutely not. It was a purpose. It was never a hobby. Sometimes people say, oh, it would have been lovely having a glass for a hobby. I said, when you've got 2 kids under 2, you don't actually have time for a hobby.
And in terms, you mentioned revalued glass, an interesting term for me. And also in looking in this particular room, there's a lot of work that you've created using bottles that would normally be thrown away.
Correct. So this has been a standalone initiative, and we came up with the revalued glass because we recycle, we upcycle, but bottom line is we take something that has no or very little economic value and transform it into something that has high value. So that's where we came up with the revalued glass. So this whole room is about the revalued glass initiative, where we can tell the story with the aim of redefining its value and scope of use.
And I think you mentioned that you were not necessarily trained in the official manner of glass making. Has that helped you to think outside of the box in terms of creating things with old bottles?
I think so. My husband might say that it was, I've always had this a vagueness or a lateral way of going about things, and I think that's really helped because I see things before I know what to do, and then I tend to work backwards so that I can imagine it, and I'll see something in the bush or, you know, swimming in the ocean, and then I can think, well, how will I make that? And when you don't have a parameter to start with, you learn technically. And in 2011, I did a mentorship, and then I understood glass, and I realised that, whoa, I didn't realise it could do all these things, and I think that was a big shift in my technical understanding.
And in terms of your work, someone can bring, let's say a few people get together, they've been together for a long time,
Yep.
They've collected some bottles.
Yep.
Could someone bring some bottles in and have something made that they can have as a keepsake?
Yeah, I'll just pick this one up. We can do this with any glass, but this is the bottle in its original form. And then you can see here, we've turned it into this beautiful carafe. And the idea is that that's just one object that we can do. And then there's a whole range of works. We look at its aesthetic, and then its technical potential, and then look at how we can extract maximum value.
Perfect. Let's see if I can actually make something.
I'd like to see that, Dom. Let's have a go. I'm going to cut this one.
Okay.
And do a tricky cut.
Right.
So this is how I'm going to turn into a watercraft.
Yes. Crafting the bottle reminded me of a very famous movie with Demi Moore and one, I can't remember who it was though. Was it Kurt Russell, maybe? Patrick Swayze it was. Patrick Swayze in the movie Ghost. And I thought in my youth when I watched that movie, I would love that to happen to me one day. And I can be very proud to say I've had my ghost moment.
Well done.
Right. There you go.
So, whoops.
I just made a cup. How do I rate as a glass cutter?
I thought you were actually really well behaved. You listened, and it's not broken.
My wife will like to hear that. I can listen. Excellent.
You can take it home for her if you like, but you've got some more work to do.